I'm in bed, in a room with wire in the glass, surrounded by bodies in white gowns, flowing white gowns like angels at the Christmas pageant, but with masks over their faces. They are pulling at me, poking at me, getting blood and getting urine samples. It was cold, so cold I could not move. I was being forced liquid, cold, frozen liquid, every hour on the hour. The fan was always on. There was no escaping that cold. It was July 1962. It was beginning to be a great summer. My friends and I tore up the streets on our bikes, singing Beach Boys songs as loud as we could over the rhythm of the playing cards close-pinned into the spokes of our bikes.
She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking up vibrations.
Great friends, my Stingray bike with a sissy bar, and Dodger games with my dad and my little brother. My father wanted an athlete for his firstborn. When that day arrived, while he sat in the St. John's maternity waiting room, he proclaimed to all, "His name will be William Lansing, and we will call him Lance when he plays ball." For Dad, sports was his entire life, from grade school through college and beyond. While in college, he played in the semi-pros for the Baltimore Orioles minor league team, but had to abandon that when he met and 1 year later married Mom. And then 9 months after that, I showed up, and off he went to work. His dream of playing pro ball, his life's passion abandoned to raise a family, was now going to be manifested by me, Lance, in a long succession of T-ball games, Little League games, high school games, college games, and then, maybe, a shot at the pros. Lance was always in the forefront of his dreams until my 7th summer, the summer I contracted spinal meningitis, the summer that Dad's dream of Lance faded away and was replaced by Billy. Needles? Needles and pins. Pins and needles. I'm laid in a bed and laid, held to the bed. No jammies, only underpants, fan on, always pointing at me. Goosebumps that do not go away. Hot goosebumps, frozen insides. Give me a sheet, a blanket, a pillow. Give me anything. Mom? Dad? I see them through the glass. Scared eyes and frantic faces, so different from yesterday. I have a fond memory of post-war Southern California, the idyllic long days of summer that seemed to keep the impending new school year at bay, were perfect for the games the neighborhood gang would play. Every yard on our cul-de-sac, Galt Street in Van Nuys, was fertile ground for forts, cowboys and Indians, tag, water fights, and sleepouts. Vietnam wasn't on our radar, Kennedy was president, and Dad seemed to always have tickets to a great game. That night was no different. Dad at the helm of our new Chevy wagon was ready to head out. My brother and I were fighting over the front seat. I won. I was the oldest. Our fight interrupted his driving ritual, but after admonishment from Mother and her warning to Dad to make sure we wouldn't eat too much junk food, the Barbour boys were off. Headed to Chavez Ravine, the recently constructed Dodger Stadium, which in all of its night game brilliance seemed to fill the sky with a heavenly glow. You could see those lights all the way from Pasadena. Brilliant lights, reflecting off the clouds like our own Aurora Borealis. Lights are shifting, shadows bounce off the walls. I can't focus. A movement? Mom, is that you? A white angel comes to my bedside. I look up. She points to the window. My mom, her face distorted by the wired glass, looks down, smiles, and her mouth moves. I cannot hear. The glass stops the germs, stops the words. Hour after hour, frozen minutes, I look over to the bed next to me. She has tubes everywhere. She eats through a tube, pees through a tube. Her little limp body makes no dent on the canvas cot that holds her up off the mattress. She does breathe on her own. Not infectious. We are not infectious to each other. We talk. I read to her, tell her jokes. She is 5. Her name is Sandy. Sandy Koufax was pitching. The chance of the Dodgers breaking some kind of record was always a possibility and was enough to make the trip shorter than usual.
Dodgers Magazine, the official game program of the Dodgers, available at all receivers and ticket stores as well, just $3.
The tickets were exchanged, and then a quick run past the Dodger Dog stand, past the man with the programs and scorecards, and through the concrete tunnel where the most beautiful sight awaits. Below, stretched out as far as you care to remember, is the green grass of the outfield. It is the most amazing green you've ever seen, a green so vibrant and alive that you'd swear it's one of the players. That view, mixed with the crack of the bats during warm-up, the organ music, and the holler of the boys selling popcorn, peanuts, Cracker Jacks, programs, get your programs here, made a boy feel the way a boy should feel. How do you feel? This is always the question the angels ask when they wake me, each hour on the hour through the long night. I don't say anything. They give me a big, cold glass of milk to drink and then leave. I'm so cold. I close my eyes for a moment. I have to distract myself from the cold. I'll think of jokes to tell Sandy. Why did the silly tiptoe past the medicine cabinet? Because it didn't want to wake the sleeping pills. Or, why do you jump out of an airplane? To test your jumpsuit. She won't like that one. I hide from the cold and fall into a restless, dreamless sleep. How do you feel? William, wake up, it's time for your milk. The voice brings me back to the cold room, but something is wrong. The lights are wrong. It is brighter. Watch out for Sandy's eyes, I start to say as I turn to her bed. There's always a little glow of light on the other side of Sandy's bed, but now the bed is empty. The cot is gone. She's gone. The bed next to mine is made in perfection. Corners are perfect, grandmother corners. Was grandmother here? She made the bed. Or the angels made the bed. The angels took Sandy and made her bed. I was alone. Dad leaves us alone in our seats right before the 5th inning. Back he came in the second out, beer in one hand and peanuts in the other. We ate that night, forgetting Mom's warning. It was a feast of Oscar Mayer, Dodger dogs, cotton candy, peanuts, Cracker Jacks, and a ton of cola. We were so sick to our stomachs. When we got home, I think we used an entire bottle of Alka-Seltzer. More needles in my back, more blood, more frozen pinpricks. I'm shriveled, I curl into myself, hugging myself. Warmth, I need warmth. Mom, I'm on fire! Burning alive, Mom! I yelled from my bed the next morning. I really don't feel good, Mom. Mom blamed Dad and the food, but when she took my temperature, it was 101. The fever kept climbing no matter what she did. The next morning, with a fever of over 104, and while pushing cold compresses into my neck and head, Mom asked me how I was feeling. I have pins in my bed, was my response. When she told that to the doctor over the phone, he wasted no time in getting over to our house. These were the days that doctors made house calls, and it was not more than 2 hours later I was in the isolation pediatric ward at UCLA Medical Center. I'm alone and the angels haven't come for me yet. They came for Sandy. She died last night. Am I next? Will they come for me soon? I don't know. So I wait. Cold, frozen. I wait. Will the angels come? I have no one to talk to now. I want to read her a story, tell her a joke. Anything to forget the cold, the needles, the stupid fan bolted above the air conditioner and the window blowing down on my body. So I sleep. I must dream of warm places, happy places. Until one morning, when I wake up, and I do not feel the fan. I do not remember being woken during the night. The light is brighter. The nurses arrive with caring eyes and warm fingers. Here's a blanket. Here's your favorite jammies. Here's a pillow. The angels unmask. They are strangers, but they have warmth in their eyes. I peer out from under my blanket. I clutch my blanket. I will never give up my blanket. The Dodgers won that game the other night. Lance didn't. The trip home from the hospital was quiet, starting with the wheelchair ride to the car, after the goodbyes on the ward. The wire windows and tile floors morphed to blue skies and concrete as I was wheeled out of the hospital to the waiting station wagon. I didn't get the front seat. I laid down in the back. "Billy, are you okay?" Mom asked and then slipped back into silence as I said yes. Both my parents were so very quiet, each dealing with their own feelings. I didn't know it then, but I suspect now that my father was mourning the loss of Lance. Carrying that ball all the way down the field or catching the pivotal fly ball in the last inning. For me, I had faced death and won, but with consequences. Over time, my mind and body healed, but it had changed. My metabolism shifted. I gained weight, lost not only my father's hopes for me, but also my own boyhood dreams. I never talked to him about that summer. I never talked to him about Lance. I should have. I know he loved me, but I believe Lance came between us every time he was disappointed or angry with me. That unspoken loss, for both father and son, that changed forever our bond. That summer, Lance became Billy.